Well, Sixers unable to get it done once again. They start the season 0-2 as we welcome you here to Sixers Postgame Live, brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Amy Fiddle, Jim Lynam, and Mark Jackson. And we thought that this was an opportunity because the Raptors were shorthanded. No Emmanuel Quickley, no R.J. Barrett, even with the Sixers not having Joel Embiid, Mark, nor Paul George. But was it poor shooting? Was it lack of rebounding? What was the reason this one went sideways?
You know, Amy, we shot 38% from the field and 31% from the three, in which the interesting part is a lot of times when your three-point shots are not falling, you can finish around the rim, right? But unfortunately tonight, Toronto with 15, 13 blocks, we couldn't get nothing around the rim, so it made the game extremely difficult to score for us.
Yeah, I mean, Jim, you're looking at the shooting numbers, and they are very woeful. 31% from the field. I'm sorry, no, less than that. It was like that was from 3-point, 38% from the field, 29 of 76. This was a long game. This one trudged along, and that didn't help the Sixers either.
No, it was a game, Amy, that was very difficult to establish momentum for either team. There were over 100 free throws attempted in this game. So, yeah, it seemed like excessive whistles to me. But as Mark said, when you're shooting that poorly, you better be good in some other area. And I'll tell you, compounding the problems, the Sixers got crushed on the board. They let Toronto consistently get a lot of that second shot opportunity, and as a result, you play good defense, and now all of a sudden, you don't get a chance to score. You got to play another 24 seconds of outstanding defense, and they simply just put too much pressure on themselves.
Yeah, you're looking at 66 rebounds for the Raptors to 42 for the Sixers, and it wasn't even that close whether you watch it. We got to check out our electrifying moment brought to you by your local Tri-State Toyota dealers. This was pretty much emblematic of what we're talking about, why the Sixers struggled in this one, because it's a little, Kelly Oubre trying to get something going, but defensively, the Raptors had a lot of different looks that they threw at him. So you can see he stays with it, and he gets closer to the bucket, into the paint, but then he's stripped right there. Scotty Barnes is the one that actually comes up with it to get the outlet pass. And then, Mark, who's going to finish this one, you think?
This guy, the 6'8",
Scotty Barnes.
Not phenom. He's able to finish on the other end, and that's what he does in transition.
I mean, you see Kelly Oubre's face after that, frustrating. He's trying to get any kind of space there, and he's just met it every step of the way, Jim.
Yeah, that young fella, Mogo, who I'm really, to be very honest, I'm not familiar with. I know he's from San Francisco, leading rebounder in the league out there. But he was a factor in this game. He did a lot of good things, and you saw him there, that nice little dish pass to trailing Scotty Barnes.
Yeah, so that was a struggle. Scotty Barnes, certainly a good night for him. 27 points, 8-11 shooting, 4 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. So it was a good night for him. He was an all-star last year, and you're seeing reasons why. He didn't start the season off too well. I mean, this is the same Raptors team that lost by 30 to the Cavaliers the other night. Sixers were hoping to take advantage, but when you have different things like you're not able to rebound, you're not able to take advantage of all the turnovers. This is a Raptors team that had 14 turnovers at the half. They finished with 27 turnovers. 27 turnovers, and you lose the game by. To me, that's obviously it's emblematic because you shot only 38%, Mark. But when you see 27 turnovers, you're thinking your team's got a fighting chance. But the Sixers weren't in this one after the half.
They weren't, Amy. That's back-to-back nights, or back-to-back games rather, where the Sixers struggled to finish around the rim. You think about it, the same thing with the Milwaukee Bucks. Now with Toronto, we're struggling to finish around the rim, and then the other team has 27 turnovers, and you still don't come out with the victory. That's a problem.
Yeah, you can see, Jim, you're talking about, was it 99 free throws, total 53 and 46 on one side. When we were talking about how clunky this game was, and then the rebounding, I mean, it's team rebounding total, as I mentioned, was 66 total rebounds for the Raptors as a team to team rebounds of 42. That is problematic. And this is something that you knew about last year, and you thought he was going to get a little bit better. Is this a scheme thing for you, this lack of rebounding, Jim?
It's really, I think, a little early, Amy, to make judgments, but the coaches will be concerned, believe me. You can't give up that many second chance shooting opportunities to the opposition, particularly on a night where you're shorthanded with regard to your maximum offense. It just puts too much pressure on you to score at a high rate, and obviously the Sixers weren't doing that tonight.
One other thing that was really in the Raptors' favor was the blocks, 13 blocks. I mean, that's not even counting how many shots were really affected by that. So you're talking about, as Jim's saying there, Mark, affecting everything by clogging up that paint, meeting everybody at the rim. There was just nothing worked inside.
It didn't, Amy. And that's a problem. because if you're not finishing at the rim, you're putting so much pressure on your ability to hit threes. And we only shooting 30% or 31%. That's a recipe for disaster. A lot of times, guys, the coaches will teach the game, say, listen, we're not hitting these outside shots, let's get in the lane, let's get downhill. But when Toronto's defending the rim like that, it's like, we got to go to the drawing board.
Yeah, you heard Tyrese Maxey the other night. You know, he knew that he had a problem when he was penetrating against Brooks Lopez, who blocked himself 6 shots. So a lot of times, if you're not having success finishing, penetrate, get into the middle of the lane. The reason you're not finishing is because all those guys are there. Kick it out. That's where the three-point line comes in. But as Mark said, if you're not shooting the three on top of not finishing at the rim, obviously you have a problem.
Well, one of the things to think about is that obviously Joel Embiid would affect some of that because you'd have to have usually your shot blocker going with him. You're looking at 9 block shots in that opener from the Bucks and now 13 tonight. The presence of Joel Embiid cannot be understated at either end of the court, but certainly on the offensive end. All right, back with a tough start. You can see that season stats for Tyrese Maxey. He is their best offensive option with no Paul George and Joel Embiid to start these first 2 games. You can see the opener, 10 for 31, 6 for 23 tonight. This is not what we're used to seeing from him. So, Jim, is it something the defenses are doing? Is it him trying to do too much? What are you seeing from Maxey?
No, I don't think he's trying. I think without Paul George, without Joel Embiid, he's got to be aggressive. Aggressive to me means he's got to try to create offense for his team. And I think what you are seeing is anytime he penetrates, they come, plain and simple. Now picture, if you have Joel Embiid, say you're guarding Embiid, you're reluctant to leave Embiid,
right?
Because you know that if you leave him, number 1, he's on the offensive glass. And number 2, he then becomes a big target for a pass. So as a result, Maxey has a lot more freedom when he's going to the rim with respect to the defensive center coming after him. These last 2 nights, you saw Pirtle tonight and Lopez in the Milwaukee game. They could care less. Boom, they're coming.
Yep.
Anytime they see Maxey penetrate. So it's, not having his real guys makes it a lot more difficult for him on penetration.
And to that point, also as far as having floor spacers out there, the 3-point looks are not going to be as good. 2 for 12 tonight. The other night, 2 for 9 from 3 for Maxey.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I will say, watching last game and watching this game, he is forcing it a little bit. And I think it's obvious you pay close attention to him late in the game. He made a couple of drives, he got in the air, and he did dish it out for good looks. So I like that look, but I also say this. I think when you still got pretty much a whole entirely new roster, guys are trying to figure it out with spacing-wise, not necessarily in the playing, but the spacing. Like tonight, it was a lot of Caleb Martin playing actually point guard tonight, with Kyle Lowry and Maxey off the ball. So I think Nick Nurse is trying to figure out to make sure everybody gel, and what's the best way to do that.
Well, speaking of, let's check in with Coach Nick Nurse. His press conference is brought to you by Rivers Casino.
Nick, what do you think the biggest difference was tonight?
Well, I think they outplayed us, Keith. They did, they just were a little faster, a little better execution-wise, a little bit better on the glass. I think that we showed a little frustration early again. I'm not sure why. It's a long game, et cetera. We did get some, kind of early foul trouble with our bigs. We ended up being into some kind of different rotations. I mean, certainly unplanned. Like several of them played a lot of guys in the first half, just kind of trying to get to halftime, and felt we were pretty fortunate, that we got there where we did and we're okay. But just execution and hard play.
How can you get Tyrese going a little bit? The second game with poor shooting.
Yep.
Do you think it's a matter of trying to press a little bit?
I don't know. I think tonight he certainly had some really good opportunities, right? And it kind of a little bit like the other night, he hit some early, and then you think, okay, he's going to really roll, and you're feeling really good about his shot selection and stuff. There's a couple late shot clock or turnarounds or whatever, but most of them were pretty decent opportunities, and just we want him to take them. Yep.
And I know, right now, especially with you guys being undermanned, it's about finding the right lineups and combinations. Did you like that starting lineup that you had?
Yeah, it was okay, Keith. I think again we didn't get to use it very long because Drum picked up 2 quick ones, right? And then we were moving and then stuff like that. But again, I think that's going to be the challenge of trying to figure it out. But we got to play better. We're just I just think our execution on the offensive end was really poor, and our defensive execution was average at best.
Nick, when you're in Toronto, you had a pretty strong reputation of being able to shut down the other team's top players. Scotty Barnes obviously had a big game tonight. Sort of what were the biggest challenges you found that they're facing now?
Yeah, I mean, I figured Scotty would have a good game after the other game, first of all, and the big difference for him was we don't quite have the size at that position that he faced the other night, and he likes to shoot over the top of guys, but he did a little bit of everything. He got some jump shots off, but he had a lot of race it down the floor baskets. Felt like he shot a lot of free throws. Right, he got to the free throw line a lot. I mean, he only took 11 shots and scored 27 points. That's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Yep.
Offensively, guys are struggling. How do y'all get out of it?
Shoot, I think our defense isn't horrible, man. Like, sometimes our offense is leading to, sometimes the fast breaks, so some quick shots, some bad shots, and then some turnovers leading to their easy buckets. But, we turned the team over 27 times. So, the defense isn't horrible. Offense, shit, honestly, I got to play better. We got to execute our stuff out of timeouts. But it starts with me. I got to play better. And if I play better, then we'll play better. So.
Now, I know you said you weren't pressing up the last game, but why do you think you're not really finding your groove right now, getting in the rhythm that you normally have?
Yeah, I don't know. I just got to refocus and make some shots, man. I'm getting some good looks, honestly, some shots that I would take every single day, but in layups, I don't know. My touch seems a little off right now, but it's okay. I'm going to work on it. And, one thing about me I think people know is pretty confident guy, and I'll never lose confidence. So, as long as Nurse keeps believing in me and my teammates keep believing in me, I'm going to keep being aggressive and keep trying to get them open shots and myself open shots as well.
All right. Thanks, Reese.